Well, let's bring in now Sky News contributor Kosha Gada. Kosha, Donald Trump completely flipped the Canadian election and now he's being blamed for at least being one factor in coalition's crushing defeat. How is he influencing elections? What's this global trend now?
He is definitely a factor. The Trump effect, Shari, as you and others have termed it, is real, especially as it relates to trade policy and tariffs, which just in the last 100 days kind of came out of nowhere. We always knew he wanted to do it. It came out of nowhere, and it does inject a curveball in the national discourse and the framing of the election for sure. However, in my opinion, I wouldn't overstate it. I think he's becoming a little bit of a fall guy for people who have failed in their electoral prospects to point to. That's human nature. He does not affect the fundamentals of the internal aspects and affairs of other countries, such as cost of living and immigration and energy policy and the culture wars and all of that. So I think there is certainly a blueprint on the plus side that he has shown about how the right can really take those issues by the jugular and win. And there is a wide open playing field for those that are able and willing to do that, because there is a swath of the electorate that wants it. However, insofar as the trade and tariff issue, that's one thing where he definitely played a factor.
It's interesting because there was this global movement away from woke ideology at the time that Trump was elected, but now because of the uncertainty and the chaos that he's presented, it seems that people are sticking with incumbency. As you say, at least that's one factor. So now Albanese spoke to the US president today, and then the president has also come out and said that there should be 100% tariff on movies made outside of the United States. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so this is another category where, Trump has his baseline view of 10% tariffs for every industry, every country, and then he has sort of carve-outs where there's less or more. And the movie industry in particular, Hollywood, it is a big industry economically, but it also punches above its weight in terms of the culture and the influence it has on the culture. It is no friend of the right or of Trump. He's very well aware of that. And they sort of have had this carve out, or this easy pass is how he frames it, where they can go make movies abroad, get huge tax exempt status and other benefits from that. All those jobs that go into making movies go to those other countries, and he's just trying to bring that back home. Hollywood is the epicenter of it, is in the United States, and so by putting these tariffs in place, he's trying to incentivize movies to be produced and made much more back in the US.
Yeah. Now, finally, he also wants to reopen Alcatraz, we're hearing. Tell us about this.
So Alcatraz, of course, I was actually just in San Francisco last week, famous from the mafia era, offshore, like just off the bay of San Francisco prison cell. It doesn't have a huge capacity. I think it has something like 300 beds, and it was closed down in the 60s because it was mismanaged and not financially viable. He's talking about or toying with the idea of reopening it. Certainly, the U.S. needs extra prison capacity because there's a lot of criminality and illegals, but more so I think it's a symbolic value of that he is the master of. And there's this framing going on about how bad the illegals that are being deported and detained and deported are or aren't. And I think he's looking at that as a backdrop that would help in that battle of the framing that's going on right now between him and the media.
Indeed. All right, Kosha Gada, thanks so much for your time.